They say the night is quiet, peaceful, but for him, the silence is alive. Every night, as the house settles, as the moonlight pools on the wooden floor, the whispers begin, faint at first, like a draft through the walls, but then words that curl into his ears like fingers creeping, beckoning. He tells himself it's nothing, just his imagination, just the house breathing. But deep down, he knows better. The whispers slither beneath his bed, murmuring secrets in a voice too familiar to be a stranger's. He grips the blanket tighter, heart hammering, throat dry. But tonight is different. Something stirs, a shift in the darkness, a presence, watching, waiting. And then, a sound, a slow, deliberate scrape against the wooden floor. His breath stops, his fingers tremble. The whispers grow urgent, insistent, his own name repeated over and over again. And against every instinct, against every screaming nerve in his body, he leans over. He peers into the void beneath his bed, and there, staring back, is himself. Not a reflection, not a dream. Himself. Eyes too wide, smile too sharp. A perfect, impossible twin, curled in the shadows, grinning. And then, it speaks. Finally, you looked. Now, it's your turn to stay under. The hand shoots out, cold, unforgiving. He tries to scream, but the darkness swallows him whole. Above, his own voice whispers back, "Good night." It starts as a whisper of unease, the kind that coils in the gut like a warning from something unseen. She stands before the mirror, fingertips resting against the cold glass, watching. But something isn't right. The reflection doesn't move, not at first. Her breath hitches. A trick of the light, a lapse in focus. She tilts her head to the left. Nothing. The glass version of her remains still, frozen in place. A lifeless photograph except the eyes. They're alive. A glint of something unreadable flickers in their depths. Something aware. Her stomach knots. She lifts a trembling hand, expecting, no, needing, the reflection to follow. It doesn't. Instead, the thing in the mirror smiles. A slow, deliberate curl of the lips, not her own, not hers to control. She stumbles back. Her breath turns shallow. The room around her blurs, but the figure in the mirror remains vivid, sharp. It leans forward, no longer bound by her actions, no longer an echo, but something separate, something wrong. The grin stretches too wide, revealing too many teeth, like the mouth isn't sure how human expressions are supposed to work. She tries to turn away, tries to look anywhere but at it, but an invisible force roots her to the spot. The air thickens, pressing against her chest. The reflection steps forward, hands pressing against the inside of the glass, testing the boundary that holds it back. A single crack splinters across the mirror's surface. A voice slithers through the air. Her voice, but not quite. Twisted, warped, drenched in something ancient and hungry. You've watched me for so long. Now it's my turn. The glass groans, bending outward like a thin sheet of ice about to shatter. And then, the lights flicker, The mirror ripples, and in one blink too slow moment, the reflection is no longer inside the glass. It's standing right behind her, and this time, she's the one trapped on the other side. Jason sprints down the basement stairs, his breath ragged, his heartbeat pounding in his ears. The dim light above flickers violently, casting jagged shadows along the cracked walls. He doesn't dare look back. He knows something is there, watching, waiting. The wooden steps groan beneath his frantic steps, but no matter how fast he runs, the bottom never comes. Minutes pass, then an hour. His legs burn, but the stairs stretch endlessly beneath him, twisting, warping. The walls shift, his childhood drawings smear into grotesque, grinning faces, their hollow eyes watching him. Doors appear and vanish in the blink of an eye, leading to rooms that shouldn't exist. His mother's voice calls from above, sweet, distant, wrong. He risks a glance back. There's no door anymore, just darkness. And then ahead, a figure, his mother, but not. Her neck is too long, her mouth stretched too wide in a frozen, gaping smile. "Come back upstairs, honey. It's almost dinner time." Jason stumbles, a whimper choking in his throat, and bolts downward. The steps contort beneath him, turning sideways, spiraling, shifting. Then he slams into something solid, a mirror. His reflection stares back, but it doesn't move, doesn't breathe. Then it smiles. A whisper slithers through the silence. "You were never supposed to leave." Jason gasps, frozen. His reflection lifts a hand and presses it against the glass, then reaches through. Cold fingers wrap around his wrist. Jason screams, and the stairs keep going.